Kevin Stefanski was Cousins' coach twice in Minnesota. So I beg the question once again. If Kevin Stefanski is familiar with Kirk Cousins, right? When he got to Atlanta and Kirk Cousins was QB1, QB2 at that time because Michael Penix was hurt. I beg the question, investors, and you gotta put it in the chat. Based off the history that they had together, because I didn't know that Kevin Stefanski and Kirk Cousins had any history in terms of head coach and quarterback. Do you think that Kirk Cousins, when he found out that Kevin Stefanski was the head coach, do you think that he decided to leave, or do you think that Kevin Stefanski decided to cut ways with Kirk Cousins? Because if I was Kevin Stefanski, especially if you was looking for a Joe Flacco, you already had a Joe Flacco on the Atlanta Falcons bench already. So who decided to part ways with who? Now, let's go ahead and break this down, investors. Hold on. So let's break this down, investors. If it was, come on with it. Come on with it. Now, let's just say that Kevin Stefanski wanted to part ways with Kirk Cousins. Well, why would he do that? Because when I looked up Kirk Cousins' stats in Minnesota, believe it or not, now, Kevin Stefanski was not the head coach. So if I misspoke, I misspoke. But I think that's what Cam said. Okay, I'm sorry. He was offensive coordinator. So they still have some history together. Now, to my surprise, when I looked up his stats, hold on, investors. When I could talk, I can multitask. When I looked up his stats, I was surprised that Kirk Cousins' stats in the Minnesota Vikings as the quarterback, had some dealings with Kevin Stefanski, his stats was actually pretty good. You know why his stats was already pretty good? Because he was already developed, right? There was another head coach that was over the Minnesota Vikings at that time. Hold on, this picture is coming up. I hope you can see this. Let me see. Let me go ahead. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, I hope I can make this bigger. But if not, I'm going to read it off to you. Because Kevin Stefanski, he did get hired in 2020. We already know what year that was and what was going on among the world and the entire global population that year. But let me go ahead and read off Kirk Cousins' stats for 2019. He played 15 games. He completed 307 passes. His attempt was 444. His completion at that time was 69.1. And guess what? If this stats is right off of ESPN, he actually threw for 3,600 yards. So hold on now. I tell you what, let me go ahead and give him another year. Let's go ahead and give him another year in the Minnesota Vikings in 2018. Kirk Cousins, he played 16 games out of 17. He attempted, he completed 425 yards. He completed, attempts 606. And guess what? His completion rate was 70.1. Where am I going with this, Vestas? I'm going with this because if Kevin Stefanski was familiar with Kirk Cousins either as an OC or a QB coach at Minnesota, why he didn't keep Kirk Cousins, even though he was accident prone. Hold on, Tony Talks just got another note. Hold on, let's see what his stats was in Atlanta, right? I'm gonna go somewhere. Vestas. Hold on, it's coming down and I'm trying to catch the download. Hold on. This right here is Kirk Cousins stats in Atlanta. Because let's see, why would Kevin decide to cut ties with Kirk Cousins based off 2019, 2000 stats in Minnesota? To me, that sounds awesome. The man was throwing for over 3,000 yards, 4,000 yards, 70% completion rate, 68% completion rate. Let's see what his stats was in Atlanta. Come on with it. Here go his stats as the QB coach. The QB in Atlanta, 2025. Hey, I'm unbiased. You know I like to tell the truth. As Atlanta Falcons QB, Kirk Cousins, to my surprise, he threw for over 1,700 yards. 10 TDs, 5 interceptions. His QRB rating was 47.6. Well, somebody can come into the room and say, oh, Tony Talks Vested Up. This makes sense. This is why Kevin Stefanski, he got rid of Kirk Cousins because his QRB rating was only 47.6. No. Because what was Dylan Gabriel's QRB rating? 30.2. So why did Kevin Stefanski cut ties with Kirk Cousins? You know what, Vesters? Hold on. I'm gonna hold my opinion. Let me see what here. They digging at Kevin Stefanski now. Yes, Kevin Stefanski is a fraud. They digging at Stefanski now as ever. Listen, he can't replay. Let me tell you one thing. Come on. Did not hit on dirt last week. Hold on, Vesters. Just hold on. He got the hell away from Ooh, Peter. Okay. Hold this thought. Boomerang. Stefanski is about to reap what he sowed. The media gave Stefanski those awards, not the media. That's right. Stefanski giving up play calling duties. Listen, I told you he hired Alex Van Pelt. He already said he's not calling plays in Atlanta. It's going to be Alex. You know why? Because Alex is the true. He's the one behind the scene that actually got Kevin Stefanski his most wins in Cleveland. Like I said before, Kevin Stefanski is not dumb. He's not a genius in terms of offense, but he's definitely not dumb. Hold on. Jarvis Landing questions of Kevin Stefanski. Yes! And even Jarvis Landing, I thought Kevin Stefanski only gave up play calls twice. No, he gave it up 3 times. He gave it up to Tommy Reese last year. He gave it up to Ken Dorsey about 2 years ago. And I guess when he left Minnesota, because I guess he had some experience, maybe 17 games as an OC. I guess that's why he went into Cleveland Browns trying to call plays in Cleveland when he was just trying to, like Justine said this morning, be an imposter. Okay. So the man can't call plays. Okay. Baker Mayfield has a bone to pick with Stefanski. He probably gave us okay. True. Peter, you said that? Donna C, yes, ma'am. Peter, you better say that. All right, so Peter and I don't know. I don't know if Peter is a Scorpio, but he definitely got what I was putting down. Okay, Vesters. Yes, I think when Kirk Cousins, I want to do him some justice. Hold on, y'all. I want to do him some justice. Hold on, Vesters. Go ahead and take a swig. Go ahead and eat some peanuts and popcorns, because I want to put a picture up here on Kirk Cousins. Hold on one, y'all. I got his stats, but I want to put a picture up here because you know what? This is so telling. Okay, Kirk Cousins. This is so telling, investors. I'm for the connect the dots. Come on, Kirk. Come to the stage. Come on. Let me tell you one thing. As Peter said, and what I was alluding to, it wasn't Kevin Stefanski that decided to part ways with Kirk Cousins. I believe that Kirk Cousins, when he found out Kevin Stefanski, a man that he left in Minnesota, and he knew who he was behind the scenes, he said, you know what? No, I'm gone. I believe that Kirk Cousins didn't want to be part of the Kirk Cousins, the Kevin Stefanski fiasco. He don't want to be part of that man. Let me tell you one thing. If Jarvis Landry said such and such about Kevin Stefanski, if Jokin said such and such about Kevin Stefanski, if Shador has alluded to such and such about Kevin Stefanski, if David Njoku has alluded to such and such about Kevin Stefanski, we can only imagine what Kirk Cousins knows, because Kirk Cousins saw Kevin Stefanski when he first came into the NFL. He knows that man has weaknesses in terms of offense. He knows that man has weaknesses in terms of leadership. He knows that man is not a leader, and he knows that man can't play nothing, don't know nothing about offense. And mind you, Jarvis Landry had said that Kevin Stefanski, when all of a sudden when a team is winning, he want to get those duty back. Do you know? And I think Kirk Cousins saw the writing on the wall. He probably saw the future. He said, okay, if I'm here and Kevin Stefanski is here, they got Alex is here. I'm hearing that Alex is known around the NFL as being a very good offensive coordinator, even though he has the title of QB coach in Atlanta. Let's keep pushing. We already talked about that. I think they're going to do the switcheroo behind the scenes. But Kirk Cousins saw the writing on the wall. He's going to say, Alex is going to get us to 4-0, 3-0. And guess what? Kevin Stefanski narcissism is going to rise up and want to take over the play calling duties. Kirk Cousins said, no, not today, Satan. Kirk Cousins left the Atlanta Falcons without a new NFL home to go to. If that don't speak volumes, I don't know what it does. Let me go ahead and go to the chat. Kirk Cousins is the one that left Atlanta and Kevin Stefanski, not the other way around. I was like, Kevin, remember in the beginning of Investors, we was like, well, why did Kevin Stefanski cut Cousins? Dang, he didn't even really talk to the man. No, Kirk Cousins said, nah, I'm gone. You ain't got to talk to me. Let's see here. Why does he get to go to Atlanta to coach? We don't. Oh, well, remember I broke that down. I think it was around your birthday, Fate. But Kevin Stefanski and Matt Ryan had a relationship way back when in Pennsylvania. So when Matt Ryan's, he probably was already looking how, probably had a inclination that Kevin Stefanski was going to get fired by the Cleveland Browns at the end of the season, because, hey, the first person that they interviewed in Atlanta was Kevin Stefanski. And Kevin Stefanski was the first head coach out of all available NFL coaches to get hired. He even got hired before John Harbaugh. And you know John Harbaugh has so many accolades and stats and winning records over Kevin Stefanski. Listen, did Atlanta even interview John Harbaugh? If they did, it was only the first one, because Kevin Stefanski, he got through interview 1 and 2 and was hired on the scene. But they have a history together from Pennsylvania. They have a history, and that's not allegedly. They have a history for when they was in Pennsylvania. They played high school football together. Kevin Stefanski was a senior. Matt Ryan's was a freshman, and they both was quarterbacks. So they knew each other in their small division. I think they went to a private Catholic school, so they knew each other in terms of football. Kevin Stefanski struggled as play caller, passed duties to Alex Van Pelt when struggling like person. Yes. Yeah, what is Atlanta gonna do? You know what, Cousins? I should have put the dome up there. What is Atlanta going to do? Now, two things can happen. Kevin Stefanski, which I don't think he's able to do this because he is a narcissist. Kevin Stefanski, the best bet for him to do is sit back, play the head coach role, and let Tommy Rees and Alex Van Pelt call all the offense. Just sit back, play that role as the head coach. If you get the wins, you get the wins. If you get the losses, you got to explain the losses. But Kevin Stefanski, based on what past players said, whenever they start winning, Kevin Stefanski wants to take over the offensive calls again. In his head, he believes the hype that everybody has said. He's coach of the year. He deserves coach of the year, and he can call plays. If you don't believe me, go ahead and contact Emmanuel Acho, 1-800. I almost said a word. Go ahead and call Emmanuel Acho. DG is going. DG knows what is going on. He can't say anything about Kevin Stefanski. Coach Brian did say something about Kevin Stefanski behind closed. Of course he did. Some words were exchanged, and that's why. Now, Lady of Elegance, I'm going to be like Faith was this morning. If you got the 411, you got to tell me how you got that information. ToneyTalksVestedUp@gmail.com. Because the way that you put that in that chat, it seemed like you got an ear to the ground or you got an inside leak. What? Is that why he wrote? What? Come on, Faith. Now, I'm gonna say, Lady of Elegance, you got to give us a little bit more. You got to put a little bit more in the chat if you know something that we don't know. Something smells in this situation. Yes, it does. What's up, Detroit? Gemini? Oh, that's what happened. That Gemini came in the room. How you doing, Detroit? How you doing, Detroit? Gemini. Hello. Okay, something makes me think Dylan will lead the NFL. He's chilling in Hawaii, starting to. What? So he is getting married. So that's good. So that means that she really did love him, not because he was an NFL player. So if that is truth, if you know that to be true, hey, congratulations, Dylan Gabriel. He sees the writing on the wall. He already knows that he's probably gonna be on the practice squad. Oh, and guess what, Vestas? You came in at the right time, Gemini. You hit that tonight. You know exactly what all I had to do was look up, but yeah, zap it. And also, Gemini, if you don't know this, we had an awesome live this morning. So there is, let me go in and post this. Does anybody want to fail? Yeah. Listen, that game, and he also faced scrutiny in that game against the Tennessee Titans that we could have won. Because remember, in the first half of the first quarter, I know in front of the first half, he put Junkins in Wildcat twice. And we could have won that game against the Titans. And yeah, he also did it in the 49ers. I'm trying to tell you, Kevin Stefanski, that's what they said. And I think Alex better watch out too, along with the Atlanta Falcons players and Atlanta Falcons fans. Well, the fans ain't gonna have it. We already know this. The fans are not gonna have it. But Kevin Stefanski, if Alex start winning, and Kevin Stefanski, he's gonna want to call plays. Kevin Stefanski, just take my advice. Just sit down. Just sit down. Don't attempt to call no plays. Don't attempt to call no plays. All right. Let's see right here. All right. So